Good morning. Today's video is going to be, I just called it white on white for lack of a better name, using a white card base and then a cutout of some kind on the front, and then putting a little color behind and some white die cuts. So I chose the Paradise Palms for this, and I've already cut out some palm trees and some more of these leaves, kind of tropical looking. So let's get started. I'm going to actually do this two different ways. So the first way, I'm just going to repeat what I had done here, just using a different shape. And I am using paper from the Delicate Desert. I really liked these kind of warm colors for this card since it was tropical. And I've just cut some strips. And again, this is a great one to use leftovers. I cut them anywhere from 1/4 to 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch because I wanted them not to, all be the same. If you want them to be the same, then you can cut them the same. That's fine. All right, so I'm going to make one. I think I'm going to make this one as an oval. So we'll start here. Make sure that if you're using white or vanilla for your card base, that you use the thick. The regular basic white and the vanilla are a little bit thinner because they're usually used on top of your colored cardstock. So if you want to use them for the base, it's always good to use the thick. Okay, and then this is going to go on like this. And then I just cut a piece of white that's going to go behind here. Okay, and I cut it smaller because I didn't want it to line up with this. I cut it a little bit smaller, and depending on the size that you're using, the shape will depend on what size this piece of white needs to be. All right, so then I just took my strips, and I placed them on the paper. So I'm just running my Stampin' Seal all the way down this piece, because to me that's much easier than trying to put the adhesive on the back of these. All right, and I'm going to start with the polka dots on the top. And then maybe a thinner one here. I'm just, kind of butting them right up against each other. And I'm just using the front and the back of both of these sheets of paper. There's not really a right or a wrong way for this. You could mix the colors coming down. I just chose to keep my kind of orangey colors at the top. Whoops. Oh no. There we go. So my kind of orangey colors at the top and the green colors at the bottom. Okay. All right, that's about halfway. And then I just turn it over just for ease of doing this and trim off the excess. Okay. I mean, and nobody's even going to see the sides because those are going to be covered up. Not that you couldn't see the sides, just this is, like I say, this is a great way to use up scraps. You always have those little extra pieces that you have left over when you're done cutting for your card. Okay. There we go. All right, so now you can see this. I'm going to lay this on here. Then this is going to go over top. Okay, and then I'm going to put in I may put in a palm tree this time. So I just kind of put this on here just so I know about where I want my other piece to go. And I lay that down. You can put any kind of adhesive on this one. I just really think this makes a pretty card. And there's not a lot to it. You know, usually, like I say, you're just kind of using up scraps. There we go. Now I'm going to pop this one up, which will allow me to stick my die cuts down underneath. But before I do that, I want to stamp it. Maybe I'll just make this one a happy birthday. When you know it. All right, so when that happens, I can do one of two things. I can turn it over, and that would still work on this card, or I can put something over top of it, which is actually what I think I'm going to do this time. So, oh, look at this. I've still got that cut. It's not the same green. Too bad. Let's see. I've always got lots of cutouts here. Well, let's try this again. It's still coming through. A lot of times on the older red rubber stamps, I'll go around and bevel the sides to trim it a little bit to keep it from doing that. I'm going to try one more time and wipe it here. There we go. That one came out. And then I will pop that up. It's always a fix, you know? And I didn't worry about whether or not it's going to come out on here because I knew that I could just pop this one up and have that in there. Okay. So now I can put this on here. Can't believe how hot it is already. You know, it's still February and the air conditioner is running solid. Okay. I'm just leaving the edge on this like I normally would. Okay. So now if I want to put a palm tree on here, see, I can put this right down, and I think I will put the palm tree on this one. Now you can see how it's going to be a little bit long, so I'm just going to cut that off. And then I'm going to put some glue on here. The liquid glue makes it easier because I want this to slide down here. There we go. All right. And then just because I thought that was still, I mean, it's very nice like this, but I thought I would like to put some sequins or rhinestones or something. I think I'm going to put these this time. I kind of give it this. These were like a kind of a gold sequin, and these are kind of almost a holographic. I'll put the smaller ones. And again, I usually go in threes. They say odd numbers are more pleasing for the eye artistically. There we go. Okay, so now we have one that I used a circle, and one that I used oval. All right, so if you don't have any DSP, the other thing that you can do, and again, I'm going to use this nested shape here. I'm using the thick white. Okay, and this is going to fit on here just like that. So this time, instead of putting strips of paper, I'm actually going to brayer some color on here. Now, if you don't have a brayer, you can use, your, the word is just escaping me, but you can use a sponge, or you can use one of these, or, whatever you want to do to get the color on there. I haven't used my brayer for a while, so I thought that might be nice. And I'm going to start at the top with my lightest color, which is the Bumblebee. Okay, and then I'm going to add a little bit of the mango, and then in between, I just run it over my chamois to get the rest of the color off, so that it's not that I mind the color getting on here. I don't want the color from here to get onto the ink pad. I'm only going to just ink up the end of the brayer on this one, because I just want to, there we go, put some extra color there. It's giving me more of just a line than I thought it would, but that's okay. Let's see what it looks like. And I'll just clean it off my brayer. And then I'm going to put the green at the bottom. So you'll end up with the same kind of colors both ways, but so you can put the color on like that. And again, if we had used the sponges, let's actually kind of put some extra, you can get the same effect. Okay, so let me just clean that off so I don't get ink all over everything. And move those off to this. Oh, let me leave that open so I can try to stamp the happy birthday. There it is. I didn't get it on the back of that card. No, I did not. So this time, let's see if this will work. That one's better. Some stamps you just have to pay more attention, because they'll pick up those edges. All right. So now I've got my card base. I'm going to put this on here, and then I'm going to put that on top of there. Oh, that's pretty. Okay. So this one I'm just going to pretty much center. Just kind of a quick and easy card. And if you don't have a lot of paper colors, you've got your white, then this is a nice way with inks to lay the color down on those. If you have the strips, the dimensional strips, you can put those on here like we use when we do shaker card. And again, I'm popping it up so I can slide my, this time I was going to try 2 palm trees. I don't know if I'll have room. Yeah, I think I can do that. Okay, so they're gonna, this one, I want to cut just a little bit off. And this one I want to cut more. Don't want to cut too much, but try not to put too much glue on it because then it ends up coming out from the edges, you know. That one. Using this one. I think that when you just have the, you know, the strips of paper on there and you're looking at that piece of paper, it doesn't look like much. Just like when I just had first brayered the color on there, it's like, well, okay, now what? But once you get the cutout shape on here and the die cuts or whatever, I think it just makes a really pretty card. Maybe on this one I'll do rhinestones. So we have two different kinds of sequins and we have rhinestones. Maybe I'll put one big one there. These kind of champagne colored ones to me go with everything. There we go. All right. So same card, but we did it a couple different ways. We used a circle, an oval, and a nested shape. We used the leaves and we used the one palm tree or two, you know, just depending on how much you have room for. And we used paper strips and we brayered it. So any of those would make a card. You can see they're very similar. So I hope that you might try this and that you have a great day.